Okay, good day to you. From the previous discussions, we have discussed about the first two domains, which are the physical aspect and then the sexual aspect of a human person. So now we will be focusing to the third aspect, which is the emotional aspect or emotional domain. However, we will be starting the discussion with the title, The Chemistry of Lust, Love, and Attachment. Actually, these are the three stages of love. Okay, so we are already focusing on the emotional part. Okay, so the first stage here is the lust. This is a phase which is driven by sex hormones and testosterone and estrogen in both men and women. So when we say lust, it is actually the desire phase. Okay, so it is started, of course, with the desire, and commonly with lust. It means you are craving for sexual satisfaction, which is a feeling that is evolved in humans to motivate union with a single partner. So, from the previous topic, which is the sexual aspect, we have already understand the different sexual orientations, sexual affiliations, or sexual group. So, when we say lust, it is not always evolved in the heterosexual, but of course in the different forms of of orientation, such as homosexuality, bisexuality, etc. So during this phase, um, men and women both release healthy amounts of testosterone and estrogen. Of course, we know many years ago during our elementary years that testosterone is commonly for many species, while estrogen is for women species. However, uh, women could have a small amount of testosterone. So the second stage here. So let's start with the desire phase. That is the first phase, and then secondly is the attraction. So this phase is based from, or accordingly, it is one of the beautiful moments of life. So it is the phase when a person actually starts to feel the love. So from the last, which is started with the physiological or the biological, um, that the two hormones that we have enumerated a while ago is the testosterone and estrogen, commonly for the reproductive part. And then here in the attraction, we will be deepening na. So the brain releases adrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin during this attraction phase. Okay? So on this part, di ba sabi nga nila, when you saw this particular person that you really love, parang the beat of the heart becomes faster. Okay, so that therefore the brain releases this particular um, adrenaline hormone, and then next one is the dopamine or the happy hormones. Okay, so it depends kasi in this is in I mean in this stage napapalitan na yung sexual urge natin into a more common I'm sorry, into a more into a deeper phase, which is the so-called attraction. However, we have here the deepest form of love, which is the attachment. So attachment, it is already the a bond helping the couple to take their relationship to advanced levels. So it is already the last level of love. So it instigates the feeling of bearing children and falling in love with them wholeheartedly. So just to review, in the first phase, we have the last, which is the first phase. We have the two hormones, sex hormones, the estrogen and then the testosterone. And then in the attraction, we have the three emotion hormones like the adrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin, the happy hormones, the stress hormones, etc. Now, in the attachment part, the brain releases the oxytocin. So, napapalitan na yung sex hormones, emotion hormones, into love hormone. So, the attachment phase brings a feelings of calmness, security, a desire to protect one another in emotional union and comfort. So this is already the deepest. Just for iteration, this is already the strongest bond. Okay? So kung iintindihin nating mabuti, in the last part, in the first stage which is last, um pag nawala yung last mo sa isang tao, of course, the attraction and attachment as the second and third phase will no longer in the picture because, of course, in the first phase pa lang, walay na. Okay? However, to maintain a relationship, it should be started with lust, which is, accordingly, it is a common reaction of a human person, followed by the attraction, and then the bond, which is the attachment. Okay? So, if love already exists in the relationship, that is already the so-called the attachment. Okay. Now, the next concept here is the emotional self. It is the ability to respond to ongoing demands of experiences with the range of emotions in a manner that is socially tolerable. Let's focus on the concept or in the phrase ability to respond. So when we say emotional self, we can actually regulate our emotions on a particular situation wherein as wherein we know how to inhibit or we know how to exaggerate our emotion in a tolerable way. So pag sinabi kasi nating tolerable way, you can tolerate, you know the threshold of accepting a particular emotion based from the social norm. Halimbawa, kapag nasa sinehan tayo and the theme of the movie is horror, it is a very normal na matakot tayo, magulat. However, it is abnormal to, you know, um, to laugh loudly or to cry na hindi na natapos yung iyak mo. That is already exaggerated and that is not already accepted by the society because that is not already socially tolerable. So, we can give our different emotions in different stimuli or the same stimuli as long as it is accepted by the society. Okay? So we can respond, we can inhibit the emotion, and that is the so-called the emotional regulation. Okay. So actually this is the topic or the concept emotional regulation. It is a complex process. It is a complex process because it involves three activities, which is you can initiate your emotion. When we say initiate, you can introduce your emotion, you can inhibit or depress or suppress your emotion, you can modulate from the higher percentage of happiness or a lower one or the modulation. um, so you can regulate your emotion based from a given situation. Okay? Nung bata tayo, kapag nasa store or nasa mall, if we will be pointing out to a particular chocolate bar, and it so happened that our mom doesn't have any more peso para bilhin yung chocolate bar na yon, we can cry, right? We can cry. That is accepted. That is acceptable in society. However, given the range of our ages from 18 to 24 or 24 to 30, that is no longer acceptable because, based from your age, according to Sigmund Freud, there are different stages of development, and from Eric Erikson, the different stages of um, development based from social norms. Okay, so on this one, okay, on the emotional regulation, actually, it is also an ability to suppress inappropriate behavior under instruction. Okay, so we can regulate, we can suppress. That is the most important characteristic of human person. We can initiate, we can introduce, we can inhibit, or we can suppress inappropriate behavior in a given situation. So another example, if you are in your classroom, pinagalitan ka ng teacher mo, you can inhibit your emotion. For example, you are already a second year college. The common response kapag pinagalitan ka ng teacher mo, uh, you will react, however you will not act rudely. 'Di ba? Hindi ka magwawala, hindi mo gagaguhin, tanga, bobo yung teacher mo because that is inappropriate. And always remember the word socially tolerable. Okay? We have here classifications of emotion. So, in this way, class emotion classification, it means by which one may distinguish or contrast one emotion from another. It can classify, okay, it can be labeled according to different theories. So the first classification of emotion is that emotions are discrete and fundamentally different constructs. So, ang sinasabi dito that in discrete emotion theory, okay, remember the word, in discrete emotion theory, all humans are thought to have an innate set of basic emotions that are culturally recognizable. I repeat the word, um, cross-culturally recognizable. For example, if you are happy, okay, in the culture here in the Philippines, there are different levels of happiness. Okay, but let's focus on the word happiness. In other culture, for example, in the Philippines, happiness, kasiyahan, kasayahan. In other culture, we have the same definition of happiness as kasiyahan also to them. So, it is dyan papasok yung word na cross-culturally recognizable. It can be recognized. Now, let's focus on the word discrete. Okay? So, when we say discrete, it is because they are believed to be distinguishable by an individual's facial expressions and biological processes. So, let's start with the facial expression. So, alam naman natin kung ano yung itsura ng masaya, ng malungkot, ng nagagalit. It is, it can be seen, it can be observed based from the facial expression. And of course, the biological processes. I will give you an example. For example, biological processes, kapag lumuha tayo, lumuha or luha, it can give us different or varied emotions. Di ba? Kapag lumuha tayo, it could be sign of happiness, it could be, sabi nga nila, tears of joy, it could be of a very tragic moment of your life na talagang mapapaluha ka na lang in a particular situation. So, sabi nila, there are different, accordingly, there are, according kay Paul Ekman, there are 6 basic emotions. So remember the emotions like anger, disgust, fear, happiness, sadness, and surprise. That is according to Paul Ekman, 1992. Okay, the second one is emotions can be characterized on a dimensional basis in groupings. So Di ba kanina nasabi natin yung varied emotions, okay? Variety. Okay? We can regulate emotions in a different we can regulate emotions in a varied way. Okay? Second one, um, emotions are grouped, nagugrupo. Okay? Nalilabel sila. From pleasurable versus unpleasurable. For example, group 1, from pleasurable to unpleasurable. Second one, group 2, arousing or subduing. Third group is strain or relaxation. So from the positive into the negative. So let's focus on the first example, which is pleasurable versus unpleasurable. So kung makikita natin, there is a range. Okay? Gaano ka pleasured, gaano ka unpleasured. Okay? So can emotions be grouped? The correct answer is yes. Are they discrete? Yes. According kay Ekman 1992, for reiteration, we have 6 basic emotions: the anger, disgust, fear, happiness, sadness, and surprise. Okay, so here let's go back here in the let's focus on the emotional expression. So here in the emotional expression, these are observable verbal and nonverbal behaviors that communicate an internal emotional or affective state. So in psychology, we have the ABC. We have the affective domain, which is in the emotional part, behavioral, which is manifested through our behaviors. Ito yung nakikita base sa kung ano yung iniisip natin, which is affective. And the third one is cognitive, which is in the mental part. So, cognitive, iniisip; affective, nararamdaman; behavior, yun yung pinapakita. Nagsasama-sama ba yung tatlo? Yes. Okay? Always try to remember those terms. So, emotional expressions, these are verbal and non-verbal cues that can communicate our emotional feelings. Okay? Verbal, sinasabi; non-verbal, or kinikilos. Okay, let's focus on the model of emotion. Actually, we have here the um, four modalities. Okay, let's have the acronym SAR. Okay, the first is S, followed by A, and then R. S stands for situation, A stands for attention, and another A is appraisal, and number 4 is response. So the first modality is situation. So the sequence begins with the situation. It could be real or it could be imagined, that is emotionally relevant or emotionally important. So kailangan mo nang magkaroon ng situation for you to start with. It could be in a real scenario uh, from a real setting, or it could be imagined through your cognitive part. Secondly is the attention. It is directed towards the emotional situation. Actually, here in attention, you could have options. Okay, you could give your attention to that emotionally relevant situation, or you could reject or deject yourself from this situation and do nothing. Okay, the third modality, or the third element, is the appraisal. When we say appraisal, you will be going to evaluate or interpret this particular situation. You can you can appraise or you can evaluate your attention to that in the given situation. Mamaya magbibigay tayo ng specific examples. The last one is response. Any emotional response is generated. So, ibig pong sabihin, response is the final element in the model of emotion. So, dito na tayo gumagawa ng emotional response. Para saan yung emotional response? This is in the given situation. Okay? So, first situation, it could be real or imagined as long as it is emotionally relevant. Secondly, attention. What is your action to the given situation? Third, what is your emotional situation? It is appraised, it is evaluated, it is interpreted. And then the last model is the giving or releasing of response. Okay? Diyan na gumagawa, diyan na nakrecreate yung tinatawag nating response. Okay, for a specific example, okay, FYI, the process model of emotion regulation is proposed by Gross 1998A. So, antecedent, this one, for example, the first model here is the situation. For a specific example, going to the party. So, for example, you are in the same company with your ex. So, yung ex mo, katrabaho mo, and then there is a mandatory party for everyone. So, the situation here is going to the party. Sabi ko nga kanina, you can select your action in this situation. You can go to the party or you don't go to the party. Now, if you selected going to the party, you have here two different situations. First one, don't talk to your ex, or second one, small talk with your ex. Again, papasok na naman dyan yung selection. Okay? So, what if your situation is going to the party? Again, these are your different new situations if you selected going to the party instead of going to. Okay, aspects. The second model here, the second element here is the aspects. So, dito, meron tayong tinatawag na attentional or deployment. If your ex is already in the party, di ba, your option 1, I mean, your option that you have already created is going to the party, whether to talk or whether not to talk with your ex. So, you can, in these aspects, you can select the attentional. Pwede kang mag-watch ng karaoke na lang instead of watching your ex flirt with her new boyfriend. So for example, in that party, dala niya yung bago niyang boyfriend. So, pwede kang, yung attention mo, pwede mong ibahin. That is number 1. Number 2, pwede kang mag-deployment or reject yourself from the given situation. Okay? Third is the meanings. Now, in this part, nakikita mo, let's have this scenario. You are there, watching your ex flirt with her new boyfriend. Now, ano yung meaning na nakrecreate ng mind mo? So, the new partner is better than you. Okay? That is one of the meanings that created by your cognitive domain. When we say cognitive, it is the mental, it is the brain. So, another meaning is good to see X is happy. Okay? Pwede mo siyang reappraise. Ngayon, kapag ang pinili mong meaning ng utak mo is the partner or the new partner is better than you, of course, the emotion response, which is the last stage here, is jealous or anger. Magagalit ka, right? However, if you will be appraising, if you will be interpreting, or if you will be creating meaning in a more positive way, ito na ipapasok dyan yung emotional regulation. Nire-regulate mo or ini-inhibit mo yung nararamdaman mo. So, when you reappraise the meaning at iisipin mo na lang is, she's good. I mean, it's good to see your ex happy. Then, your emotional response mo dito now is, of course, positive. Diba? Because your response is not about jealous or anger, but a genuine happiness. So, ayun, ang inisip mo, let's go back here. Ang inisip mo, ang ginawa mong meaning is your the new boyfriend of your ex-girlfriend is better than you. Your emotional response, jealousy and anger. Now, your response focus now here is to get drunk. Okay? You get drunk, mabibwisit ka, or magwawala ka, ipapakita mo na mahal mo pa siya, etc. Or, if you will be selecting this reappraisal into a positive one, sabi nga natin kanina, it should be socially tolerable. Okay? Pag sinabi nating socially tolerable, ibig sabihin, tanggap ng society. So, instead na mag-get drunk ka, instead na magwala-wala ka dahil nagsiselos ka pa, you can suppress, you can inhibit your feeling. Paano? Uminom ka, pero hindi ka magagalit. Kinikim-kim mo lang. Is it socially tolerable? Yes. Pag nagwala ka, pag nagselos ka, pag nainis ka, is that socially tolerable in a party? No. Okay? So, have you seen the importance of emotion regulation in a particular community? So, that's it. That's the power of emotion regulation. So, before wasting your emotion, you have to you have to create positive meaning muna para magkaroon ka ng positive emotional response. Okay. So, on this part, these are different personality disorder or learning disorder or mental disorder. The first one here is the alexithymia. So, alexithymia is a personal trait characterized by subclinical inability to identify and describe emotions experienced by oneself or others. So, ang mahirap dito kasi is that meron kang dysfunction in emotional awareness. So, when we say emotional awareness, for example, 'di ba, when a particular person or kunyari si Kuya Will tumawag sa atin because of Shopee, 'di ba, magbibigay sa atin ng 10,000, 'di ba? The common response there is we are very happy because 10,000 is very rare. However, people with alexithymia, they don't know what's going on. They don't aware. Okay? They are not aware in their emotional responses. So wala silang social attachment or interpersonal relating. Alam niyo 'yon, yung question mark. Okay? What should be felt? What should be felt on that particular situation? Okay. Secondly is autism. Alam naman natin 'yan commonly nakikita or nadadiagnose in early stage ng tao. Autism or autism spectrum disorder refers to the broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communications. So, commonly, wala silang social skills. Autistic ka. Pag autistic ka, wala kang social skills, repetitive behavior. Very common sa mga bata is yung drawing ng drawing, sulat ng sulat, na alam mo na kung ano yung gagawin niya. Okay? Sa susunod. And then, of course, meron din silang speech defect and nonverbal communication. I'm not autistic though. Okay. From that mispronounced word. Okay, hypomimia is the third one. Hypomimia or mask phases is the loss of facial expressions most commonly associated with Parkinson's disease. Actually, Parkinson's disease is a mental disorder wherein there is an involuntary movement of your muscles. So, may dito sa Agoo, there is a particular driver na palagi nang ginagalaw yung ulo niya na nakakagulat na ginagawa niya yon. Okay? It's different with Tourette. Kasi yung Tourette is yung nakapagsasabi ng ng mga spills nila na words nila na hindi nila napipigilan. In Parkinson's is it is on the muscle, on a specific area of the human body. Okay. These are the conditions or disorders that inhibit your emotional expression. First one, alexithymia. There is no social awareness. Hindi mo alam kung ano yung happiness. Hindi mo alam kung kailan ka iyak, etc. Autistic mental disorder, hypomimia. It is generated or it is comorbid kay Parkinson's disease. So if you want to know more about Parkinson's disease, search Parkinson's disease on YouTube or in the email. Okay, and other involuntary expressions. Involuntary, ibig sabihin, you're not aware of letting it go or showing it off. Yung mga expressions. Okay. What I want you to understand in this topic is for you to have the emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotion, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. So, on this part, di ba, for example, in IQ, or we have the so-called intelligence quotient, in the EQ naman, emotional quotients. Now, let's have the new term here, which is the emotional intelligence. So, on this part, it is the ability to understand and manage your own emotion and those of the people around you. So, for example, ang gulo-gulo na ng sitwasyon, nag-aaway-away na yung kapitbahay mo, for you to manage your emotion is calm yourself. Malamang kung mababang emotional intelligence mo, makikigulo ka, makikirayot ka, di ba? But if you have a higher emotional intelligence, you could at least control the people around you. You can mediate on them. Okay? You can explain or you can ask why they are quarreling on a particular conflict, or you could be a conflict solver because you have this emotional intelligence. So, babalik at babalik tayo sa salitang socially tolerable. Okay? As long as it is tolerated by most people in a society, your emotion is correct. You are aware of your emotion. You can give your emotion in a given situation. Okay. So, emotional intelligence, we have here the different elements for you to have emotional intelligence. First one, self-awareness. Napag-aralan na natin yan dati pa, that knowing yourself is knowing all the different aspects of your system. Physical, sexual, emotional, spiritual, etc. Next one is self-regulation. It's the same with emotional regulation. Okay, inhibit. In emotional regulation, we have the three elements. You can initiate your emotion, you can inhibit or suppress your emotion, or you can modulate it. Empathy, actually, it is a interpersonal skill wherein you are putting your feet to the shoes of other people. So, parang kinukuha mo yung situation, naiintindihan mo sila in a deeper way. Okay. Social skills, of course, kailangan magkaroon tayo ng social and communication skills because emotion is not just for your own lang. It is also for the other people. Okay? Papasok dyan yung tinatawag nating, sinabi natin kanina, interpersonal skill. Okay? And then motivation. Motivation, we have the intrinsic and then extrinsic motivation. Okay? Intrinsic, panlabas, you are motivated by outside force like your family, friends, wife, husband, children, etc. Intrinsic, it is developed within ourselves. Okay. Now, if you have these 5 elements, we can have the word emotional intelligence. Okay, what is emotional intelligence again? It is the ability to control your emotion in a given situation. Next, ito, the last concept na. Emotional granularity. When we say emotional granularity, it is the ability to differentiate between the specificity of their emotions. So, emotional granularity is the ability to put feelings into words with a high degree of specificity and precision. So, take note, emotional granularity put the ability to put feelings into words, okay, with high degree of specificity and precision. Ano ibig sabihin nun? According to research, kapag daw mababa ka or low negative emotional granularity, it is associated with stronger reactivity to negative effect and higher vulnerability to poor mental health. So, pag pag mababa, low negative emotional granularity, you are susceptible, parang nagpapa-apekto palagi sa negative negative words or negative vibes, and then there is a higher vulnerability that you are poor, that you can adapt a poor mental health. Okay, so let's have this table, or let's have this Cartesian plane. Okay, sabi natin kanina negative, di ba? This is the Cartesian plane, imagining this is the negative and then this is the positive. Sabi natin kanina, low, okay, low negative granularity. So, if you are susceptible, if you are prone, lagi mong pinapatulan yung mga negative na comment, nag-post ka sa Facebook, may nag-comment, ang taba-taba mo naman, kapag masyado mong iniisip yon, therefore you have a low negative granularity. And what does it mean? So, punong-puno ka ng displeasure. You are into miserable life. Siyempre, pag palagi mong iniisip na ang taba-taba ko na, kahit nagda-diet naman ako, you can lead into depression, you are bored, you are tired, etc. Now, kapag meron naman tayong high positive granularity, okay, papasok dyan naman yung excitement, astonished, delighted, happy, pleased. Okay? So, kung mapapansin natin, of course, let's focus our attention here in the positive side because it talks about pleasure. Okay? Ang gusto palagi ng tao, pleasure. And sabi nga natin kanina, there is a range of emotion from pleasure to displeasure, from positive to negative. Okay, so I hope you learn the lesson very well. Okay, so for evaluation, please comment on the comment section. Answer the 2 questions. How do I learn about myself? And then, why study physical self, sexual self, and emotional self? So, we will be having an online quiz again. Please stand by and please get online and get updated doon sa group natin. Okay, thank you for watching.